Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back to Warframe. Now we're going to be continuing with the Chains of Harrow quest to get to the bottom of this, hopefully. Right, so we want to go up here. Yeah, so last time we had started capturing his manifestations, we kind of found out that he seems to have a form of autism and had that before he was kind of connected with Warframes and things like that. So yeah, we've got ourselves a Tenno who's having a little bit of a harder time with things, and from something Palladino said, it sounds like he wasn't in the reservoirs on the moon with the rest of us, so I have to see how that goes.
How could Rell have lived this long without the long dream?
In a way, he didn't. He knew his mortality would undo his purpose, so he gave up his humanity forever. He committed his soul to the undying vessel. Yes, he commanded we chain it within the depths of the sacred temple, an eternal vigil against the indifference.
And you believed him. You helped him do it.
Yes, after everything you've seen, wouldn't you?
Just realised I forgot to do something. Yep. Yeah, okay, so he's like permanently transferred himself into his Warframe. And that's how, in spite of the fact that he's human and wasn't put into cryo, he's managed to stay alive that long. You guys are just too much fun to kill. Okay. Now we should probably continue with the quest, now that they've finished talking. But yeah, like, as I said after the last, or as I said in the last video, like, this is kind of showing us some of the limits maybe that the Tenno have. Like, we're still mortal. We're still quite evidently human and mortal. But and we're still kind of mentally fragile and subject to all of the other human kind of issues with kind of our mental state and whatever else. But that does kind of make me, because if you remember when we were talking about the second dream quest, when I played through that with you guys, it was very much a kind of odd situation where between some of the odd dialogue, some of the kind of, I don't want to say poor characterization, but some of the elements of like the dialogue between characters that just didn't add up with what's happened to this child. You know, this individual that we've got controlling the Warframe here. You know, it's a kind of odd thing that now we're seeing. Oh yes, they're people. Oh yes, they're these things, and it's, you know, they're mortal. They're limited. They're not particularly different from anyone else that would be put in this situation. These were random children picked up on a ship. Yes, they were conditioned. Yes, they were modified and put into these Warframes, but they're not kind of unbreakable or infallible or any of those kind of things, apart from the fact that that's the way they've been treated so far. And considering that, you know, we've just had TennoCon with all the things that were shown off and released there, including the stuff about the operators becoming more warrior-like in the way that they're going to be used and the way that they're going to be equipped and things like that. You know, excuse me. Where are you here? Yeah, I just kind of feel that it's a really interesting kind of thing to suddenly kind of almost about face on us and go, yeah, they're kind of broken individuals. They're like really easily messed with, and I can only hope that as part of the stuff that they're talking about doing, where they're taking him from, as the devs said during TennoCon, kind of whiny emo kid to kind of like young warrior, then if that's what they're aiming to do, I applaud it, but I also hope that then we see more acknowledgement of maybe why they've avoided some of the negatives of all the stuff that's happened to them, or how they were taught to deal with it beforehand, and so the effects have been lessened now that we've woken up a second time. You know, now that we're okay. I wanted the figment, dude. What does that say? What is evil but indifference? Okay. Well, I can't really be anything but indifferent because, as I've mentioned a few times now, the threat that the Rell actually poses is kind of so diminutive to, at the very least, the Warframe that I choose to play, that you know, it's kind of a you know, a thing that I can't get behind. He's just suddenly popped in on me when I'm trying to kind of grab his manifestation, and he's still this fractured being that's kind of being elusive and not particularly helpful and just getting in the way as I'm trying to do what I've been asked to do. But he's not I mean, he's doing tiny amounts of damage to me, but he's not really kind of in my way. You know, it's and for other Warframes that are even more kind of resilient than I would.
It's too strong for the siphon. Try and weaken it.
What was that? Excuse me. Let me go. Thanks. Yeah, it's just like doing a little bit of damage here and a little bit of damage there, kind of, especially when I'm on a Warframe that can not just take it, but also just, you know, any enemy that gets in my way, bar Rell himself, who's just immune to damage. Ooh. Have I already scanned this? I have already scanned this. Okay. Yeah, alright, you can stop. See, again, I'm if evil is apparently indifference, then, you know, am I kind of guilty of it? Then yeah, I am, because I've got no other choice but to be so in the way that the game is.
You look around and Mama's not there.
You know, if I can, to one degree or another, ignore this guy, then you know, there's gonna be some level of indifference there. Sorry, can't really avoid that. When you're an annoyance rather than a threat, then there's that. You know, you just can't go be afraid of this thing and make everybody afraid of it. But you know, as I said, I applaud the direction, but it's, you don't get
You run.
tension and kind of fear, or even really perceiving it as a threat. You know, without
Blessed Tenno, Rell has returned to
more
his
than
sacred
that.
vessel.
So
I will join him there at once. Please, come. For I fear I haven't got the strength to do what must be done next.
But yeah, so now we've got to apparently go and find Rell where he is and help Palladino like deal with him. Which again, fair enough, but there you go. Yeah, it's I don't know, between the fact that in the past they've not addressed any of the kind of weaknesses and failings of the Tenno, and you know, we're coming on into like the 5th year of this game being out, and they're still very vague about a lot of things. And whilst they're trying to work into some of this stuff,
Rell's been caught in a transference loop for this long. The psychological effects could have been catastrophic. This man in the wall, these delusions, symptoms of the void exposure all Tenno experienced. I hope that Palladino can find peace for Rell, so this never happens again.
okay, so apparently all Tenno experienced these delusions, and they had them worked out of them like once we came back to the Orokin. Okay, that's a nice that's a nice explanation. Now that we've got that piece of information, they're just saying, oh, they're delusions, they're not really there, there's nothing in the void, apart from the fact that we know that there is, considering that something took us over at the end of the War with Inquest and said that we're nothing without them, suggesting that, and if Rell is at least somewhat to be believed, then the void is somewhat, as a somewhat living creature. There's something intelligent out there, kind of elder god-esque, maybe, which I'm all in favour of, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. It's. I feel like the mental vulnerabilities of the Tenno, especially considering that they woke up with complete amnesia and only just recently realised that they are children, that they aren't people wearing the Warframes or in the Warframes, to one degree or another, and stuff like that. I feel like it's a really kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say kind of. Again, I love Warframe as a game. I've loved the mystery and the story and some of the ways that they've been able to work with it. But again, I still feel that there are these big gaps and big holes, and the number of times that they have tried to fill them and ended up just leaving more holes.
Our home, his tomb. Come, meet our guiding light.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems really kind of that maybe a little bit more could or should be done just to patch some of those up, and not in necessarily big ways. I mean, you could do it by like throwing in some extra codex entries here and there that aren't necessarily related to Ordis and stuff like that. You could, you know, they've got all of these systems for delivering lore of one sort or another. I understand that some stuff they want to specifically do quests on and things, but oh God, come on, there you go. And so yeah, I whilst I get that there's kind of I know this. I mean, I'm also a person that loves lore in games and like the exploration aspect of this stuff. So, fair enough. Maybe I'm just unsatisfied because the thing that I look for in a game hasn't been here to the extent that I would want it yet. But you know, it's stuff that if you want to invest, if you want to take time to take a look at it, if you want to engage with it, it's just not been here to engage with. And so I feel like, you know, especially considering the Warframe already has a huge community, I feel like one of maybe the only things that has stopped it from becoming bigger is... Hold on, I want to disable this trap before we head on forward. There we go. But I feel like one of the only things that stopped it from being bigger is the fact that because you've got kind of things like Barthel's taxonomy that kind of spell out the main different types of player, the things that people look for in their games, and this game deals with some of them far better than it does with others, and the one that I feel is the most neglected is the kind of exploration and kind of lore focused elements of the explorer, because you've got the mechanical exploration, you've got that kind of stuff in here, no problem, but the like some of this other stuff for people that like to delve in, you know, you've got a few clues here and there, you've got a few bits of interesting lore to hunt for. You know, you've got the Curia and the Codex kind of entries and things, but you know, there's still none of them really address the gaps. And whilst we're getting the gaps filled slowly with this stuff, there's still, as said, it's almost like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because we get some answers and then we get more, but at the same time we get far more questions. So yeah, it's like, I feel like the new stuff that's going to come into the game is going to be good for it, but at the same time it also worries me considering the way that they've been doing quests and quest rewards lately as well. Because we've got the quests, sure, but then the rewards have maybe been where before it was like, here's a quest reward that would be all of the things that you needed to build a Warframe. Yeah, over the whole quest. Here would be all the things that you needed to build an entire Warframe, and then you'd need to go and just get the materials for it. Yeah, in which case it was an invitation, you know, getting the rewards from the quest as they were would just be an invitation to go and farm for the resources to get the thing. But then, more recently, it's been more a case of the reward has been a blueprint and then the rest of the bits and pieces are spread all over the place. So it's not an invitation to farm to get your reward proper. It's an invitation to farm, to then farm again, to then get your reward proper, which, you know, I feel like it's an extra step that's kind of not needed, not helpful, takes people out of it a little bit. Well, this is all very grim and dark.
You may enter here, but only as your true sacred form.
Oh. Okay. So this is going to go horribly. I can already tell right now that something bad is going to go something bad is happening. Oh, I need to go down there. Can I? And I can't get back in anymore. Alright then. Time for stuff to go horribly, horribly wrong. So they built a tower out here and then...
Holy Rell, you have sacrificed enough.
Well, that's
Pass
disconcerting.
on your burden and rest. Tenno, destroy the chains. Only your sacred power will damage them.
How do I do that? Do I actually just... I don't see... Oh, I actually need to aim at the Warframe rather than the actual chains.
Tenno, something's wrong. That's not Rell. That's...
Let's have a little quiet. It's my turn to ask the questions.
Okay. Go ahead, ask.
Well, love, I told you. You can't pet her that hard. Be gentle or she'll bite. Are you okay, Rell?
I won't let you take me from me.
Well, that's delightful.
What have you done to Rell?
Get wrecked. Okay. Ow. What am I... So am I just supposed to kill these guys, or am I supposed to go and break the chains? I mean, at least I don't seem to have...
You need to save him from this. Destroy the chains.
Okay, okay. Going, I'm going. Probably gonna get stabbed in the back whilst I do it.
How dare you laugh at him? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Don't look away. Look at him. He's not invisible.
Okay. So would that have caused more embarrassment? Or would he be proud that his mother figure was sticking up for him? Excited? I think not, but I'll go with that. Ow, ow. Can I? Nope, okay. Well, passing through the wall is not fun. Please stop. Oh, I can't wait for us to be, I don't know, actually durable. That would be nice. There we go. Right, let's try... Oh, no. Please fall over and die. Oh god. There we go. Break chains. There we go.
Mama's not herself, Rell. I think you should wait with the other kids until they fix the ship. I love you, but you have to go. Go!
So I think that in someone that doesn't understand what that necessarily means, I have a feeling it would be more confusion than purely fear. But
the in kids don't care about the invisible outs. If
oh,
you
I was
follow
bullied
that
by the other
drift,
children.
you need a friend. Even
I feel like this is a little much. I mean, I'm gonna die again in a second anyway, so I don't really know why I'm running away. I may as well just let them stab me and then. Well, you're remarkably tanky. Okay then, where are you? Ow. But it's like, I don't. If all of them were suffering from delusions, all of them had been put into care. He's using exalted blade powers? There we go. Right. Any more? Yeah, of course there are more. I think there was only one left, right? Yeah. Oh, no, of course there are more. But no, so if they're all suffering from delusions, then yeah, the kids who are more kind of, I don't know, neurotypical or whatever, they probably would have maybe recovered faster or been more responsive to the treatments the Orokin may have offered. But like I don't understand. I feel like the I was bullied. The other children didn't care about me. Seems a bit out of context because you were all like together in the first place. You all seemingly interacted with whatever kind of Cthulhu-esque elder god-like entity was sat in the void kind of waiting for you, that drove all of the other kind of adults mad and had you kind of locked away in a room hiding from the adults. You know, it's I don't know, there's something that just doesn't
By sacred shadow and
Sit.
righteous blood, blessed Rell,
right here.
your aged vessel is dust and your chains are broken. Be free.
But the man in the wall, who will...
They will have to. All of them. They owe you this. We all do.
Yeah, I feel...
Go on, Rell. Which one?
Well, that was a hard choice.
This one, Mama. I feel... tired.
Although I don't really
Good,
get
Rell, you're learning. Well, why don't you have a little rest then?
Okay. Okay, Mama.
I don't think Sleepy would usually be on those kind of emote or emotive kind of face cards so much. But so does this mean that the only thing that was holding back whatever void-based entity that granted us, that changed us, and then briefly made contact with us at the end of the War Within, was being held at bay by Rell because he was special? But yeah, now we've got the Harrow blueprint, and then the rest of Harrow is spread out there for us to go and farm up to find. The hell? Excuse me? Why the hell was my operator sat on my terminal, like, rocking around like a crazy person? The hell is going on?
Hey, kiddo. Hey, kiddo.
Oh. Huh. So that was him, or it. Remember, kiddo, you're nothing without me. Huh. Okay, that's a nice little ending, which I probably wouldn't have necessarily noticed if he hadn't been sat right there. And if he turns up like continually from now on, every so often just appearing to me, then that's gonna be fun and interesting and creepy. But yeah, that's the end of the quest. I'm not too fond of the way that the rewards work because, you know, again, we've run through several missions now. Some of them that were granted easy because it was just walking through a dark space and picking things up and whatever. But, you know, again, it's the invitation to go farming on just so that you can go farming again to get a Warframe, when other quests previously that you can still do right now have given you like a piece of the Warframe per kind of completed section of the quest overall. So that bugs me a little bit. I like the new attempt at kind of trying to work out the kind of tone for horror and the fact that we're moving towards some more, I'd even maybe call it identity horror, because we're still so unaware of who we are and what we are in full. But yeah, overall I liked that and it was interesting. But again, it gave us a couple of answers that we can kind of get if we read between the lines. But it didn't really give us anything else apart from questions to follow up with that. You know, there was nothing concrete, there was nothing solid. We can read between the lines if we know the lore, or if we're able to kind of go, oh yeah, that adds up with this. Which again, I still like, but it would have been nice if there had also been a little bit more, like if there had been more than just a passing comment from Lotus about the fact that apparently all Tenno came back with these delusions, with these mental upsets. You know, that thing that I have felt has been missing from the entire kind of all of the stuff since we found out that the operators were children and they've been completely oblivious for the last few years in game time, of them being kind of these detached operators of their suits rather than, or of their warframes, rather than actually being in the warframe. You know, it's there's a lot of work still to do on the story, and the story is one of these things that's most interesting about Warframe because it kind of relates back to an earlier game from Digital Extremes. It works in and out with other things that they are adding to the game. Obviously, they're evolving it and changing things as they go. But it still kind of leaves these big gaps and these big questions and stuff like that. So Either way, we'll have to see how it goes forward. We've got another cinematic quest coming up, which seems to be the introduction of the umbral frames, which has been a thing that lots of people have been excited about for a very long time. And then on top of that, we've also got the new open world aspect, which, as much as they said during the dev stream from TennoCon that no one had guessed it, my brother and I actually kind of we watched it within a day or two of each other, and then we were like, we called that months ago. Awesome. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this video entertaining or otherwise interesting, then I stay tuned for the next quest as and when it rolls around. Otherwise, please go and check out some of the other gaming videos or some of the other coaching videos that I've done, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.